Okay, this video is pretty long already, so I'll keep the intro brief. I like Pokemon. I've played nearly all of the mainline games. But there are a few exceptions, those being the first 3 generations. These games are much harder to find these days, and until recently, I didn't have any drive to play them. Long story short, I suddenly had an urge to play the first generation, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. I mainly just want to see what these games are like. I always hear things about how the first games have aged poorly and how they're held together by duct tape. So I want to see if it's just hyperbole or actually true. As a joke, I originally planned to play the entirety of the game with the Minecraft recreation, and yes, someone did remake the entirety of Pokemon Red in Minecraft. It's pretty neat, but there's no music or sound effects, so unless I wanted to experience this for 30 hours... yeah, I'm just gonna emulate it. I'll be playing Pokemon Red for this video. I will be emulating it, but if you're interested, you can buy the game easily nowadays through the Virtual Console, so I recommend you do that. And just for fun, I also decided to do a Nuzlocke. A Nuzlocke is a self-imposed challenge mode. There are only 2 official rules. Number 1, you can only catch the first Pokemon you find on a route or area. Number 2, if a Pokemon faints, they are dead. You either have to release them or place them in a PC box. These rules are mostly straightforward, but also a bit vague in some cases. I'll explain more later. I won't be putting too much focus on the Nuzlocke aspects of this playthrough. This video is primarily my thoughts on the game as a whole, so that's what I want to focus on. One last note, I am making this video under the assumption that you have at least some basic knowledge of Pokemon and its mechanics already, so keep that in mind. If you don't know much about Pokemon but still want to hear my thoughts, my opinions are, good game, play either of the remakes instead. That should be everything I have to say, so without further ado, let's begin. We start the game by greeting Professor Oak, who tells us about how great Pokemon are or something. We get to pick out our trainer and rival's names. I find it funny that one of the default names for the rival is just John. Like, imagine if Gary in the anime was just named John. I named my trainer I because I'm not creative, and I named the rival U because why not? Our journey begins in Pallet Town. We meet up with our rival and Professor Oak, who allows us to pick one of 3 Pokemon, Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur. I like all 3 of these Pokemon equally, but for this playthrough I chose Bulbasaur. I can't deny though that Charmander and Squirtle win the popularity contest. So as a compromise, I named my Bulbasaur Charizard. The rival picks Charmander, which I can only assume he nicknamed Venusaur. I try to leave, but John over here is all like, hey man, we should fight, I guess. Yeah. First rival fight. Not much strategy here. I just click tackle until I... lose. So, technically speaking, I've already lost the Nuzlocke. First stop is Route 1, nothing noteworthy here. At the end is Viridian City. I stop by the shop here and this guy hands me Professor Oak's parcel, so now I have to go back. It's like one town over, couldn't you just pick it up yourself, man? I return to Oak's lab. He gives me a Pokedex and asks me to catch all 151 Pokemon. Wow, Professor Oak, I didn't know you were a comedian. What a hilarious joke. Went back to Viridian. There's this old man who will give you a tutorial on how to catch a Pokemon. I ignore him. Speaking of catching Pokemon, on Route 2 I caught a Weedle. I wouldn't normally use these early game bug Pokemon. They evolve quickly, but also have very low stats for later in the game. But it's all I have to work with for now. I named him Jim. Next up, Viridian Forest. I encountered... another Weedle. Thanks, but no thanks. Viridian Forest isn't that exciting. The most interesting thing here is that you can find Pikachu. It's a low encounter rate, so don't bet on it, but it's possible. This is also the first time you see trainers. You step into their line of sight, and they'll challenge you to a battle. This leads into something I want to bring up. Pokemon battling. Okay, on one hand, I am very impressed. For the first game in the series, it got most of the core mechanics down. Pokemon typings, moves, status effects, all basic stuff, but it's essential for Pokemon's battle system. It doesn't feel that dated. It feels like I'm playing a regular Pokemon game. People always joke about how glitchy and broken this game is, and that's all true. But if you play the game normally, I'd say you wouldn't notice it. But on the other hand, battling here is the most primitive. There aren't any abilities, no held items, no physical special split, just a lot of missing mechanics in general. Again, I don't feel that the game is dated. but battling is less engaging than later games. Anyway, I got to Pewter City. Here we can face off against Brock, the rock-type gym leader. I could fight him now with Charizard, but I want to train up first. This shouldn't take too long. This is gonna take forever. Eventually, Jim evolves into a Beedrill. Alright Jim, I'm counting on you. Jim, please. I defeat Brock with ease, no thanks to Jim though. I can now go onwards to Route 3. On this route, I encounter a Spearow. Interesting Pokemon. I've never actually used a Spearow, so I'm pretty excited to. You know what, I didn't want a Spearow anyway. Charizard evolves into Ivysaur, yep, that makes sense. It was also around this time where I switched emulators, which incidentally gave the game some actual color, and... well, it's better than nothing. Look, I'm gonna level with you. Pokemon Red and Blue do not look great today. A lot of the sprites are just off, and the overworld is extremely bland. The added color is appreciated, but the color choices can be very weird sometimes. And sometimes they just hurt my eyes. Route 3 leads to a Pokemon Center and the entrance to Mount Moon. In the Poké Center, there's this guy who will sell you a Magikarp for 500 Pokédollars. Remember when I said the Nuzlocke rules are vague at times? Yeah, this was what I was talking about. Am I allowed to use this Magikarp? Am I allowed to use gift Pokemon at all? I did buy the Magikarp, but since I already had an encounter on this route, I will not be using this Pokemon. In hindsight, I probably should have released him right there, but I wasn't fully sure what to do with the Magikarp at that moment. Mount Moon is our first cave in the game, and these suck. Unlike regular routes, every tile here has a chance for a random encounter. So traversing caves are generally much more annoying than routes. Oh man, I wonder what Pokemon I'll encounter in this cave. Oh boy, what a shocker! Okay Jim, it's just a Zubat. You can handle this. God damn it Jim. In this game, Zubat can only evolve into Golbat. The third evolution, Crobat, wouldn't be introduced until a generation later. Still, doesn't mean I can't pretend to have a Crobat. Oh, and I dropped Jim's corpse off into the box, whatever. Mount Moon is also our first run-in with Team Rocket. Team Rocket is the first evil team in the series. They have one simple goal, world domination, I think. They're not my favorite evil organization in the series, but credit where it's due, they're probably the most grounded and realistic evil team. Some other stuff happens, I think. I beat up this nerd and steal one of his fossils. I get out of Mount Moon and reach Cerulean City. There's a bike store here with a- holy shit, no thank you. I also find this guy who tells me what each of the gym badges do. He says that some of the badges will increase your stats, which I believe is only a mechanic in this game? Don't quote me on that, but I don't remember this ever being stated in other games. Like last time, I do some training before the gym. Crobat learns Bite, which in this game is normal type. Both the Dark and Steel types were introduced in Generation 2, and they were created for reasons that will soon be obvious. Also, here's a small trivia fact about the first 3 generations. Most Pokemon attacks are categorized either as physical or special. What determines a move being physical or special depends on the move itself, but in earlier games, it was determined by the actual typing of the move. Here's a list to illustrate my point. Normal type is categorized as physical, so not only is Bite a physical attack, but every normal move is a physical attack. It's a bit confusing, and honestly, I'm glad this was changed starting from Generation 4 onwards. Back to the game, Charizard solos the gym again while Crobat cheers from the sidelines. I go up north and- oh hey, it's you again. Rival tells me I should go see Bill on Route 25. I'll go do that, but first I encounter an Abra. Only knows teleport, but that's alright. I catch the Abra and name him Ness. I meet up with Bill, who has turned into a Pokemon. Well, that sucks for you, Bill. Anyway, I go back to help him and he rewards me with a ticket to the SS Anne. Neat. Back at Cerulean, this police officer is no longer blocking the house. A Team Rocket grunt robbed this house for reasons. I find him standing right next to the house. How long have you been standing there? South of Cerulean is Route 5, and here I catch a Pidgey, which I nickname Phalanx, or Phalanx. It's a reference to the Phalanx in Phoenotopia Awakening. I just beat that game recently. More on that another time. Route 5 also has the daycare center. You can only drop off one Pokemon here, and there's no breeding mechanics, so this place exists purely for grinding. I put Ness in here for now because he isn't going to be useful otherwise. I spent some time to evolve Phalanx into a Pidgeotto, that way he'll at least be a little bit useful. I did the same to Crobat as well. Through the underground path and to Route 6, I found another Pidgey, which I named Bird. Small warning by the way, a trainer here on Route 6 has a level 20 Butterfree. For this early into the game, this Butterfree can actually be very dangerous. I had to sacrifice Bird here. On a lighter note, a trainer here has a Squirtle, and I think it's neat seeing other trainers have starter Pokemon. Vermilion City! Here I drop off Bird, grab the old rod, and talk to this guy who maybe likes his Rapidash a little too much. Can't complain though, because he gives me the bike voucher in return. Or so I thought. Let me introduce you to probably the most annoying mechanic in Generation 1, limited item space. You can only hold on to a certain amount of items at a time, meaning you have to make trips back to the PC to drop off items. I like the concept, but in execution the mechanic is annoying. I'm glad later games removed it. Got the bike voucher and traded it in for a bike. I'm assuming I'm just carrying around the bike in my bag the whole time. Also I grabbed Ness from the daycare. I left Vermilion to go to Route 11 real quick. I caught a Spearow, which I promptly traded for a Farfetch'd. Again, Nuzlocke rules are vague here. Am I allowed to trade a Pokemon I caught for a different Pokemon? In this case, I'm gonna count it. Plus, Dux here is just gonna be an HM slave, so it doesn't really matter. On Route 11, Ness evolved into a Kadabra. Unfortunately, to evolve Kadabra, I need to trade him to another game, which I can't do. I'm not too miffed about that fact, and I'll tell you why. Psychic types in this game are very, very overpowered. There's a few reasons for why this is the case, but the main points I want to bring up. Number 1, Psychic types had virtually no weaknesses. They were only weak to Bug-type moves, so yeah, virtually no weaknesses. This is why the second games created the Dark and Steel types, to act as a counter to Psychic types. Number 2, a lot of Psychic Pokemon had high special stats. Psychic type moves are categorized as special, so that's one thing. But another thing, there is no special attack and special defense stat. Only a singular special stat. This means Pokemon with a high special stat are both really good offensively and defensively. This includes, of course, a lot of Psychic-type Pokemon. So yeah, I'm fine with just Kadabra. Nothing else noteworthy on Route 11. I am curious though, how far can I go along here? Oh, apparently not far at all. In the process of doing this, I completely forgot about the SS Anne, so let's go do that. This place is a fun change of pace. It has a cafeteria, trainers, that's it. Another rival fight happens, and here I demonstrate why Psychic types are ridiculous. I also grab HM Cut from this guy, so that's fun. I want to explore more of the ship, but I need to heal my team real quick. So let me go to the Pokemon Center and okay, bye then. Alright, with that out of the way, let's do the Vermilion City Gym. Actually wait, let's not. I went back to Cerulean and headed west to Route 9. With HM Cut, I can now access the rest of this route. HMs are pretty awkward here. You have to go into the menu and select the Pokemon each time you want to use an HM move. It breaks the pace, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't think anyone's a fan of HM moves, honestly. Route 9... I don't know what to say, man. The only interesting thing is that this route leads to a cave, Rock Tunnel. Oh boy, I'm so excited! Where am I? I did some research, and to navigate Rock Tunnel, I first have to make a detour to Diglett's Cave. Oh man, I wonder what Pokemon I'll encounter in this cave! Oh boy, what a... holy shit. I caught the Doug trio somehow, and named him Minecraft. Why? Well, why not? I'm not the biggest fan of Doug trio, if I'm honest. It's just 3 Diglets duct taped together. It's a lame evolution, I'm sorry. On the topic of Pokemon designs, I've noticed that opinions on the first 151 Pokemon are very mixed, to say the least. Some love these Pokemon, and others really don't. Personally, I believe this generation has a lot of great Pokemon. It's just the evolutions I don't like. Voltorb, Diglett, Magnemite, Grimer, Poliwhirl, these are all Pokemon that I like. I think they have unique designs, or at least interesting origins. But their evolutions are just really underwhelming in my opinion. Anyway, I go through the cave and I reach this area. I can talk to this guy and he'll give me HM Flash, which only Ness can learn. You know what, screw it, I'm using a map instead. I kept Charizard out in the front for this area. I didn't want to risk a Graveler exploding here. Because of that, Charizard leveled up and evolved into Venusaur. My starter Pokemon, the one I began this whole journey with, has reached his final form. This truly shows that I have grown as a trainer, and that I have truly put in the work to... I have 2 gym badges. I got through Rock Tunnel, finally. That wasn't fun at all, was it? I don't know, what do you think? Let's see where we ended up. Oh no. Welcome to Lavender Town. This place is a mood shift, ain't it? The music is unsettling, there's a giant tower that acts as a graveyard, people keep talking about ghosts. It's something, alright. Also, here you can find the Name Rater, who will let you rename your Pokemon. Am I allowed to do that? I could go to the Pokemon Tower, but instead I went to Route 7. There's another underground path on this route. This one leads to Celadon City. This place is notable for a few reasons. I went up this one building and I found an Eevee. Because I'm not creative, I nicknamed her Eve. And I'm just now realizing that this game does not have genders. There's also the Celadon City department store. I bought a Pokédoll and Waterstone. The Pokédoll simply allows you to run away from any wild Pokemon. Eevee can evolve into 3 different Pokemon depending on which stone you use. Eevee can either become Vaporeon, Jolteon, or, Eevee. Yep, that's the 3. I don't think it matters which one you pick. I like the added bulk on Vaporeon, so I went with that. I traveled back to Lavender Town to do the Pokemon Tower. I fought you again. Why are you even trying anymore, man? Pokemon Tower is fun. Here you can fight a ghost. Can't actually attack, but that's fine. Near the top of the tower, you fight this level 30 ghost. I used the Pokédoll here, which ends the fight. It's revealed that the ghost was the mother of Cubone, Marowak. Oh yeah, Team Rocket killed a Marowak for some reason. Speaking of which, here they are. I beat Team Rocket and saved this guy, Mr. Fuji. He thanks me for calming the Marowak spirit, yeah okay, and gives me the Pokeflute. The Pokeflute can wake up sleeping Pokemon, like for example, the Snorlax I encountered earlier. So I go and do that. Just to be clear, using the Pokédoll to end the fight with the ghost is a glitch. I'm normally supposed to use an item I get much later. You know, I don't think I've truly complimented or praised this game for anything yet. Let's remedy that. Let me tell you about my favorite aspect of this game, the region design. You may have noticed it already, but Pokemon Red and Blue do not really hold your hand much. It doesn't specifically tell you to do something or go somewhere. Also, I would describe this game as having no real plot, just a series of events that vaguely tie into one another. What this means is that Pokemon Red and Blue are very open-ended games. You can do a lot of things out of order if you want to. And obviously, as I demonstrated with the Pokédoll, it's not all intentional, but I really like how this region is laid out. I love to explore, and I kinda wish other Pokemon games were as non-linear as this. Back to the game, I went south of Lavender Town to Route 12. I run into the Snorlax again and use the Pokeflute. I did try to catch Snorlax here. Emphasis on try. This fight is terrible, because Snorlax keeps using Rest to recover HP. He also has a very low catch rate, so I killed him by accident. Oops. I knew the chances of catching Snorlax were low, but I was still pretty frustrated at this. So I decided to de-stress the only way I know how. Gambling! Welcome to the Rocket Game Corner. That's not a suspicious name in the slightest. I completely forgot about this place the first time I was in Celadon. I find a Rocket Grunt inside the building. I beat him and he ran away. I checked the poster he was standing by and it reveals a staircase to the Rocket Hideout. Rocket Hideout is really fun because you have these tiles here that when you step on them, it was also at this moment where I realized I am absurdly overleveled. The last Pokemon that died on me was quite a while ago. The only real challenge I've faced in this playthrough was a Snorlax that barely did anything. I switched the battle style to Set just for the sake of adding some difficulty. I fought a few Rocket Grunts. One of them dropped the lift key and just stood there while I grabbed it. I'm beginning to think Team Rocket gets less threatening with each appearance. I reach the bottom of the hideout and come face to face with the leader of the organization, Don Giovanni. Yep, that's his full name, I swear. I just spam dig with Minecraft and kill this team. Giovanni is impressed and retreats, but not before dropping the I hate this mechanic. Turns out Giovanni dropped the Sylph Scope, the item that allows you to see ghosts, and the item you normally use against the Ghost Marowak. I didn't need to do any of this, did I? I left west of Celadon to Route 16. On this route I grabbed HM Fly, which will make traveling much easier. I also noticed that there was another Snorlax on this route. Alright, it's time for round 2, yes son of a- oh hey, I did it. I actually almost killed Snorlax here. I wasn't planning on catching this one considering how well the other Snorlax encounter went, but I threw a great ball and there we go. I named him Snorri. I looked up what badge I needed to use Fly, and it turns out that I need the Thunder badge. Okay, fine, I'll go fight Surge. This gym is not fun. Not because of the Pokemon themselves, I'm well over leveled at this point, but to unlock the gate, you have to find a switch in one of these trash cans. When you find one switch, you then have to check an adjacent trash can for the other, and if you don't find it, the gate resets and you have to go looking for the switch again. It's not difficult, but it can take a bit of time. Hey, Lieutenant Surge, could I have the badge, please? Great, thanks for understanding, man. I can now use Fly outside of battle. I go back to Celadon for like the third time in this playthrough. This time, I need to grab some water from the Celadon department store. Going west from Celadon, I stumble across this guard. He steals my water and allows me to pass. This is Saffron City, the largest city in the game. There is a gym, a fighting dojo, and the main attraction, the Silph Co. office building. There are quite a few Rocket Grunts roaming the place, and it turns out that Team Rocket has infiltrated the Silph Co., so let's go take care of that. I step into the building, and immediately Eve almost dies. It seems that the Rocket Grunts are at a much higher level than they were at the Rocket hideout. My team struggled a bit here, but it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. Crobat almost died as well, so yeah, fun. This building, like the city itself, is large as hell. There are a surprising amount of floors to explore, and there's also a bunch of teleporters strewn about that throw you around the place. Traversing the Silph Co. can take quite a long time. The main goal of this place is to find the card key, which opens up more rooms. I reach this room and find you again. Wait, why are you here? Rival battle. You know, aside from our first fight, this guy has been a bit of a pushover. So in all honesty, I'm not too... Oh, I'm not supposed to be here yet, am I? Despite the level difference, I held out pretty well against his team. That is, until he sent out Alakazam. I kept Charizard out as I figured he could tank Alakazam's Psybeam. I was wrong. The rest of the fight went okay, but I am not confident enough to face Giovanni right now. I left the Silph Co. and placed Charizard into the box. Alright, Snorri, I guess I'll get to use you after all. Let's just see what moves you have- wait, what? Before I left Saffron, I cleared the fighting dojo and grabbed a Hitmonlee. I don't intend to use them, but hey, you never know when you'll wander into an area much earlier than intended and lose a Pokemon, you know? Next stop is south of Route 12, Route 13. Phalanx evolved into a Pidgeot, and I caught a Goldeen. I named this one Buddy. Here's a fun fact you probably don't know about me. I had a goldfish named Buddy. When I was recording this game, Buddy unfortunately passed away. So, as a way to honor him, I guess, I named this Goldeen after him. Unfortunately, Goldeen is not great, so I'm keeping him in the box. Route 13 has this neat maze thing, and then Route 14 is a straight line, and Route 15 is a horizontal straight line? Why do we have 3 routes in a row like this? Fuchsia City. This place is notable for the Safari Zone, which has interesting music. I personally never cared for the Safari Zone. I tried catching a Venonat here. I did only say try. What's kinda dumb is that going into the Safari Zone is mandatory. It's the only way you can get HM, Surf, and Strength, and those are required to beat the game. But okay, fine. I did the Safari Zone and I got the 2 HMs. Let's go do the gym. Oh boy, I sure do hope nothing bad happens here. Okay, that one's on me. For the next member of the team, I had an idea. I grabbed the old rod and fished in this lake. Oh wow, Magikarp, what a surprise! I named the Pokemon Jormungandr after the world serpent in Norse mythology. Jormungandr didn't fully fit though. I think the R is optional, but I shortened the name anyway. And since I technically caught this Magikarp myself, I'm gonna use him. A few hours of training near the daycare center later, and I now have a Gyarados. Was it worth it? The answer is no. The Fuchsia City gym is weird. It's technically poison themed, and the leader Koga uses poison types, but a lot of the trainers actually use psychic type Pokemon. This is especially weird when the next gym after this is psychic themed. I got the badge regardless though, so whatever. Okay, now that that's taken care of... What was I doing again? Oh shit, Team Rocket. I returned to the Silph Co. office building. This guy just straight up gives you a Lapras. Thanks, could have used this earlier. At the top floor, we have a rematch against Giovanni. Okay, well, first we fight this guy. The battle against Giovanni goes just as well as the first, as in I spam one Pokemon for the entire fight. You know, Giovanni, you should really, I don't know, get more variety on your team? I'm just saying. Team Rocket retreats, and the president of the Silphco rewards me with absolutely nothing since my bag is full. He actually gives you the Master Ball, the Pokeball that can catch anything without fail. The only thing left to do in Saffron is the Psychic-type gym. I should probably go do the gym. Later. I went back to Route 9. I sailed on the water here, and it brought me to the power plant. This place is good to go to if you don't have an electric-type Pokemon yet. It's a semi-reliable way to encounter a Pikachu, and I did just that. Didn't take too long to catch him. Overall, Pikachu might be the best encounter you can get in this area. Wait a minute. That's not a Pikachu. That's a Clefairy. You can find most, if not all, of the electric-type Pokemon here, and that's for a good reason. This place is the domain of Zapdos, a legendary Pokemon. I actually do kinda like how legendary Pokemon are handled in this game. They're just things you can accidentally stumble upon while playing the game. I prefer it when legendary Pokemon require you having to go out and look for them, rather than just encountering them during the story. Zapdos, along with the other legendaries, kinda feel like secret boss fights. I fought Zapdos with Minecraft and Ness. Both of them nearly died in the process, and they didn't even level up with the experience. This was not worth the effort. I swapped out Yorm with Clefairy, and 70 hours later, I have a level 43 Raichu. This may all seem a bit random, but my next destination is Cinnabar Island. As the name implies, I have to traverse by water to get there. So I'm gonna be fighting quite a bit of water-type Pokemon. I would have used Charizard here, of course, but unfortunately, he kinda... And it turns out, I didn't even need to train Clefairy that much, because the trainers here are very underleveled. I hate this game. Let's see what encounter I get for this area. No? I shouldn't be too far from Cinnabar now, but my path is obstructed by this place, the Seafoam Islands. And here, I encounter a level 21 Zubat. What is with the leveling in this game? Almost as soon as I entered the Seafoam Islands, I left. I mean, can you blame me? It's a cave dungeon, of course I left. Luckily, Cinnabar Island has a back door, so I traveled south of Pallet Town to reach the island. First thing I did was drop off the fossil I stole to this scientist. I forgot to grab the old Amber back in Pewter, so I did that too. I now have 2 fossil Pokemon. I was going to do the gym immediately, but the doors were apparently locked. I did go in here though, the Pokemon Mansion. This place provides information about the legendary Pokemon Mew and Mewtwo. Additionally, this page just straight up references South America. So, have fun with that knowledge. This place was a bit confusing at first, until I realized these statues have secret switches. I'm really glad the game told me that. Plus, this empty space here apparently leads to a different floor. Once again, really glad the game told me that. At the end of the mansion, I found the secret key, which opens up the Cinnabar Gym. Why was it here? Cinnabar Gym is pretty straightforward, and Blaine exists, I'll give him that. I've explored nearly everything in the region at this point, so I should go back and do the Saffron City Gym now. I avoided this place initially for 2 reasons. 1, psychic types are generally overpowered, so I wanted to train up beforehand. And 2, this gym's gimmick is really stupid and I didn't feel like doing it. They just placed a bunch of teleporters everywhere and let you run around like a maniac. When thinking about what to do for the gym battle, Minecraft learned Earthquake, and that will make this much easier. And yeah, turns out this battle isn't too bad when you have a Dugtrio that outspeeds everything. The Venomoth was annoying because it was flying type, but aside from that, not bad. With the Saffron Gym badge in our possession, there is only one gym remaining, the Viridian City Gym. But first, I want to do something fun. Step 1, talk to the old man. Step 2, watch the Pokemon catching tutorial. Step 3, fly to Cinnabar. Step 4, swim by this coast. And finally, Step 5, wait. Eventually, you should come across something like this. If there's one glitch that's exceedingly notorious in these games, it would have to be the missing no glitch. I'm not gonna pretend that I understand why or how this happens. Something about trainer names or variables or something. The point is, watching the Pokemon catching tutorial is an easy way to cause this glitch. Interestingly, despite the similar sprites, this isn't actually missing no. This is a completely different glitched Pokemon named M. I tried throwing an Ultra Ball at M, but it said the ball missed. I didn't even know that was possible. I threw the Master Ball and caught M, and then a second M appeared immediately and killed Minecraft. Whoops. This glitch has a lot of interesting visual bugs, but there are two things I want to point out. One, in the stats menu, you can find that its primary typing is Bird, a typing that was scrapped. Two, encountering either Missing No or M will give you 128 of whatever is in your 6th bag slot. In my case, I now have 128 rare candies. This glitch is fun and all, but I ultimately did reset the game since I consider the rare candy thing cheating. Not sure what to do with Minecraft though. He did technically die to M. I know this is most definitely cheating and will probably piss a few people off, but I'm gonna keep Minecraft around. I only did the Missing No glitch to show it off. I never intended to keep going with that file. Okay, with that out of the way, it's time for the Viridian City Gym. At least that's what I thought, but the gym is still closed for some reason. I know that beating all of the other gyms is a requirement before the Viridian Gym opens, but I'm pretty sure that I have all the gym badges at this wait a minute. I guess Cerulean City had a lot more than I thought. I have been here like 4 times now. Something kind of interesting is that there are trees in the gym itself, making it the only time an HM is required inside a gym, if I'm not mistaken. This gym was a cakewalk. Gee, I wonder why. Okay, I think that's everything. Let's do the final gym. A fun detail about this gym is that it includes the tiles from the Team Rocket hideout. And that is because the gym leader here is Giovanni once again. He specializes in ground-type Pokemon though, so Eve kinda destroys his team. I'm starting to think Giovanni isn't a good trainer. He gives us the final badge and promptly disbands Team Rocket. Okay. You know, people always talk about how Pokemon used to be much harder back in the day, and nowadays the newer games are so easy. And after beating all of the gyms in this game, I don't get it. If anything, I'd say Pokemon Red's difficulty is sporadic. A lot of the game gave me no issue, but there were a few difficulty spikes. This is largely because you are allowed to do things out of order, so I did things like the Silph building way earlier than intended. Also, you aren't required to fight gym leaders immediately, so none of the gym battles ever gave me trouble. If there was a gym that I expected to struggle on, well, I just ignore it and do it later. This game has been very easy for the most part, and yes, I'm aware that I've stopped to grind several times throughout the game, but I still wouldn't call the game difficult. Truthfully, if you do plan on playing Pokemon Red and Blue, I would recommend trying a Nuzlocke, because otherwise, I just don't think the game is that interesting. With all 8 badges in hand, I head to Route 22, but not before another rival fight. This fight went a lot better than the last one. The rival tells me that I need more practice before the league, which doesn't make much sense because I beat him, but okay then. Right after Route 22 lies the Pokemon League front gate. These gateways are pretty neat, it builds suspense and stuff, and at the end lies Victory Road, the final challenge before the Pokemon League. To traverse this place, I believe you only need Strength and Surf. Speaking of which, I've never actually had to use Strength up until now. This is the absolute worst. Victory Road isn't even that bad. It's a pretty short dungeon, and none of the trainers are particularly hard. The strength puzzles are... yeah, but for the final dungeon, kinda underwhelming, not gonna lie. Oh wait, who's this? Oh, hey Moltres. Bye Moltres. Well, here we are. It's been quite a journey, but we're finally at the Pokemon League. You can heal your Pokemon and make some last-minute purchases if you need to. Beyond this point lies the Elite Four, which I am not prepared for. The Elite Four have Pokemon levels ranging from the 50s to 60s. My team is a bit underleveled, so I have to make some preparations. I taught Snorri Ice Beam and gave Eve Blizzard. In this game, Blizzard has 90 accuracy, unlike later games which nerfed it to 70. I also gave Minecraft Fissure, a one-hit KO move with very low accuracy. Just in case. I did some training in Victory Road and gave my team the rare candies I had. This is the team I will be going into the league with. Before you ask, yes, Ness is level 63. That may be a bit much, but I think it's okay considering he isn't a fully evolved Pokemon. I don't feel too confident with these levels, but honestly, I really don't feel like doing any more grinding. If I die here, that's on me. Here we go. The first opponent is Lorelei, the Ice-type specialist. I do want to do one last thing before fighting, and that is seeing what I'll encounter in this area. Oh sweet, a Magikarp. I've always wanted 3 of these. Alright, battle time. Surprisingly, I don't have anything to specifically counter ice types. I just let Ness do the work because, you know, level 63. He did almost die though, which is concerning. Next up, Bruno, the fighting type master who leads with an Onix. Actually, he has 2 Onixes, so fighting type master is a bit misleading. Phalanx took out most of his team and Eve dealt with the Onixes. Third opponent, Agatha, the ghost type member. And by ghost type, I mean she has 2 Gengars and a Haunter, because there was only 1 ghost type line in the game. All of her Pokemon share the poison typing though, so I guess she's also kind of a poison type specialist? Ness knows Psychic, so of course this battle was an absolute... Uh-oh. I switched to Clefairy in Minecraft for the remaining Pokemon. Luckily, poison types are also weak against ground types, so I wasn't completely screwed. Still, I made sure I gave my Pokemon Ethers after the fight to make sure that doesn't happen again. Finally, we reach Lance, the Dragon-type master. Like Ghost types, Dragon types in Generation 1 only had 1 Pokemon line, that being the Dragonite line. Also, the only Dragon-type move in this game is Dragon Rage, which always deals 40 damage. Despite that, this can still be a pretty scary fight since Lance loves to spam Hyper Beam. I'll admit, I was feeling a bit overconfident by this point. I got through the rest of the Elite Four with little to no trouble, so I figured this fight would go in the same direction. But right when I was thinking that... That's not good. Ness took out the Aerodactyl, but then came Lance's ace Pokemon, Dragonite. And Dragonite... I got through the fight, but I did lose Ness and Snorri. That isn't ideal, because of course, Lance wasn't our final opponent. It turns out that you, yes you, already beat the Elite Four. You bastard. Yeah, the fact that there's another opponent after the Elite Four was supposed to be a surprise in this game. It's pretty funny considering that no other game in the series hides the fact that there's a champion battle. Final battle against the champion... you. I may only have 4 underleveled Pokemon for this fight, but I have confidence in my team. I lead with Clefairy and deal with his Pidgeot. He immediately follows up with Alakazam, and although Clefairy gets a paralysis and almost kills, he unfortunately dies to a Psybeam. I think it's time for our last resort. I send out Minecraft and use an X accuracy on him. In this game, X accuracy does not raise your accuracy. Rather, it bypasses the accuracy check altogether. And if you remember, I taught Minecraft Fissure. Minecraft takes out the Alakazam and one-shots the Rhydon and Exeggutor using Fissure. Sadly, this, strategy won't work for the remaining 2 Pokemon as they are Flying type. I switched to Phalanx to take out the Gyarados. Not very threatening, actually. Finally, he sends out Charizard. I could switch to Eve now, but I keep Phalanx out. He almost dies to a Fire Spin, that would have been embarrassing, but I heal him, and inevitably, Charizard falls to a Fly attack. And with that, I have officially beaten Pokemon Red. Oh wait, Phalanx wants to learn Mirror Move. Nah, I'm good. And with that, I have officially beaten Pokemon Red. Professor Oak walks in, congratulates me, and ridicules his own grandson. Wow, harsh. My final team is Phalanx the Pidgeot, Minecraft the Dugtrio, and Eve the Vaporeon, all at level 54. As for those who died, we have Jim the Beedrill, Bird the Pidgey, Charizard the Venusaur, Crobat the Golbat, Snorri the Snorlax, Ness the Kadabra, and Clefairy the Raichu. I am not good with names. My final playtime is... embarrassing, and my Pokedex rating is... embarrassing. As for the post-game... yeah, there isn't much. Cerulean Cave opens up finally. I even went there and caught a Hypno. At the bottom of the cave, you will find Mewtwo, the strongest Pokemon in the game. I was planning on fighting Mewtwo, but after remembering that Mewtwo is level 80 and also extremely overpowered, I just gave up and left. And that was Pokemon Red. So, what are my final thoughts? Honestly, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. Keep in mind, I had very low expectations going into this. I've always respected Pokemon Red and Blue for being the first games in the series, but I've never had an interest in them otherwise. After playing it, however, I'm impressed by how well the game still plays. The non-linearity really saves this game. I love exploring, and this game, more so than any other in the series, lets you do just that. I love that you can travel at your own pace and just wander around. As much as I love later games like Sun and Moon or Black and White, I will concede that in terms of story progression, it's much more railroaded. As for what holds the game back, well, it's the first game in the series. By today's standards, it's nothing special. Pokemon Red is simply missing a lot of major mechanics and it's poorly balanced. The plot is laughably bare bones, the Pokemon aren't amazing, and while I like the region design, the region itself is bland and basic. You are better off playing any other game in the series. I'd recommend you play either of the remakes instead of this, Fire Red and Leaf Green, or Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I haven't played any of these, so I can't recommend one over the other, but in these games you have a run button, making them automatically superior, like oh my god these games are slow. That should be everything I have to say, so thanks for watching, and tune in next week where I talk about Pokemon Blue for 50 minutes. Oh boy! Hi, welcome to the end card. I don't have much to say here, I covered most of my notes in the video itself. That being said, there are a few notes that I left out, so I'll put them on screen now. Since you got through the whole video, I guess I should ask, what did you think? Did you like the video? Do you have any criticisms? Should I continue with other games in the franchise, or should I give up? Let me know in the comments. Oh, and also, only a small percentage